All Things Considered, member-supported Hawaii Public Radio, and I'm Dave Lawrence. A return visit from our friend Kenny Loggins joining us again. Aloha, brother.
Aloha.
Good to see you, and thank you for taking some time. We were talking the other day on the phone, and I'm very excited. You have this PBS Soundstage, couple in the can, a little bit more coming, highlights so far, and then maybe a preview of the ones that you still have yet to tape.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm very excited about it. It's I got most of the main characters of my first 40 years in the business. And, Mike McDonald, David Foster, Jimmy Messina, of course, Loggins and Messina. We have 2 nights of shooting. We have a total of 7 hours of show taped. We won't, of course, show 7 hours. We're going to edit it down to the 2 best hours.
And then you've got coming up, I know Stevie Nicks, you had said, is set to still be laid down.
That's Stevie said she'll do it, but it's Stevie, so we'll see where it goes. But I'm hoping that comes together, and we're going to go to her house and sing a little bit of Whenever I Call You Friend and just reminisce. And I'm doing a lot of stories behind the music kind of stuff, integrated with all the writing of 40 years of material.
And that's a great way to lead into what's a good story when you think back to, I know it happened that you got a lucky break. You were doing a whole bunch of dates opening for them on one of their biggest tours, and that must have led to the song. Give us a little background.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, that was, he's talking about Fleetwood Mac.
Rumors,
the Rumors tour. I had just gone solo, and I got a call to open for Fleetwood Mac. And I went on that Rumors ride. It just took off. And we were starting in smaller rooms, and the next thing you know, we were playing gigantic rooms. And I became friends with Stevie during that time, and all her people, and Lindsay, and of course Mick, great guy. And then Stevie said, if you ever need a chick singer, give me a call. And I was working. I just finished a song with Melissa Manchester called Whenever I Call You Friend. And so I said, I think I do have a song for you, that this might work.
Amazing. And I mean, you must have been so proud of yourself when that thing hit the charts and just started taking off.
Yeah, I was very excited about it. And really, I credit Stevie for establishing my solo career. I didn't realize it at the time, but it's so difficult for acts to break from duos or groups and establish solo careers. And Stevie really was the thing that pushed me into that arena.
What pushed you from the beginning to want to pick up the guitar? What was some of your first musical memories where you were a little boy and you started gravitating to this? And also maybe when somebody realized the talent that you had, or maybe you yourself?
Well, that dream, well, I was very shy. And I actually am still, in the core of my being, I'm a shy person. And so the guitar and music became a way for me to come out of that shell and meet guys, meet girls, especially meet girls. And, because I just couldn't talk to them. I didn't know. I went to a Catholic school where it was all guys. So I had no idea how to talk to girls when I hit that. And it was all the way through high school.
What an icebreaker.
Oh, yeah, well, it took me a long time to figure out how to use it, but yeah, it was. Then I finally got revenge, but it was a good way to come out of my shell. And then through that early era, then I wrote some of the first songs I wrote were Danny's Song and House of Pooh Corner, and those became as you put it, the icebreakers. Those became the way for me to meet artists. And when I met Jimmy Messina, the first thing I played was Danny's Song, because I knew that was the one that always got me through the door.
And that must have been a real connection. Did he have a special reaction to Pooh? I mean, that's like the kind of thing I was trying to explain to Famous, how that's beyond multicultural, the House of Pooh Corner. It's the kind of song that just touches so many kinds of people. It's like right at the core of who you are as you're growing up, Winnie the Pooh.
Well, that was the first book I ever read. And it was a song that I wrote as I was graduating from high school, because I saw myself as Christopher Robin, and leaving the 100-Acre Wood was that last chapter of House of Pooh Corner was my life. And I thought, well, this is the beginning of a whole nother chapter. And I don't know if I told you or not, but I was dating a girl back the summer before my first year of college. And I told her that I thought I had Return to Pooh Corner was going to be recorded by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And all of a sudden I got a call that they couldn't record it because the Disney attorneys, they applied to record the song, and the attorneys jumped all over it and said, no, copyright infringement, you can't record it. I didn't know anything about a copyright. It was just a song about Winnie the Pooh to me. I didn't understand what that was. And I told my girlfriend, and she said, oh, well, let me talk to Daddy about that. And I didn't know that I was dating the daughter of the CEO of the Disney Corporation. Only in California would that have happened. And and she took me to meet her daddy, and I played House of Pooh Corner, and he called the attorneys and said, this kid's cool, let him have his song. And because of that, the Dirt Band recorded it, and then Jimmy reinvented it with me, and he's the one who made it a picking thing. And now it exists as part of my legacy. So I'm very lucky to get to ride on the coattails of Winnie the Pooh.
And as we did talk about, you did not tell that great story, but as we have talked about, it really led to later in your life you being able to very adeptly do other children's themes and do it in a really lucrative way for yourself and a way that can provide great material for parents.
I wouldn't call it lucrative yet, but that's yet to be seen. I hope so. No, it's been a great door opening for me. I love making children's music. I have a new granddaughter. I've made a children's book out of Footloose. I rewrote the lyrics on Footloose, and I'm finishing another lullaby record. The first one I did, Return to Pooh Corner, I rewrote House of Pooh Corner, and that has done like 2 million units already.
That's not lucrative, 2 million units?
Well, it's somewhat, yeah. It depends on the deal you make with Sony Wonder. Okay. So I'm still making lullaby records, and I'm working with BMG now, and it looks like I'll be coming with another one in not too distant future. We're a couple more tracks to go.
This is going to be, so you've got lullabies, plus you've got Blue Sky worked out with them too.
Blue Sky Riders, that's right. And I'm excited about that. They're very excited about taking Blue Sky Riders to Europe because country music is breaking again in Europe, and they want us to be a part of that.
As a final note, because you worked with kids and so much, I know that you were honored recently, Humanitarian Award, the same night that Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, the two of you guys up there. How did you end up getting that kind of recognition? What was it? What's the philanthropic side that touches you?
Well, I was going to say, yeah, I have no idea. I always felt that the music is an avenue to a larger arena, that because it touches people's hearts and kind of bypasses the mind, you can use music to open people's hearts and get them to look at things in a different way. And was it End Hunger?
Yeah, Why Hunger, Harry Chapin, ASCAP.
Yeah, Why Hunger. That I'm sorry that I didn't remember that. But the Why Hunger people brought me in to honor me on that level because of it's just been so many years that it all starts to add up. Doing things to help people. I have an organization in Santa Barbara called Unity, which has been all about feeding hungry people, and it's a difficult philanthropic direction to go because the hungry people never go away. There's always hungry people. If you do a thing where you give somebody a trip to Disneyland as a last request, that's very tidy. That's a very sexy cause because you get to help those people and they go to Disneyland, end of story. And I don't mean to sound callous, but people who work in that direction, they get a strong sense of satisfaction because they see what they're doing. With feeding the hungry, it's hard to see because they get fed and then they get hungry and then they need a bit fed again. And so it's a cycle that goes on. So all I'm saying is that it's something that you can do your entire life that's part of what I have done since I was, 20 something.
With our epic homeless problem right now in Honolulu, single worst per capita in the country, there's just no question that I completely understand what you're talking about, because it doesn't matter how many providers come together to do it, it's not going to take care of the needs.
It's not going to make it go away.
Right. Yeah, and it's hard to believe, as somebody else said the other day, they can't believe in our day and age. It was James Williamson from Iggy Pop and the Stooges I had on. He said, because he lives on the Big Island half the year, he said, in this day and age, it's hard to believe that in America, this is still happening.
It's been happening all along. It is hard to believe. It's. I won't get into it, but there's a lot of political reasons why it's happening.
Well, it's great you were honored, though, for your commitment and helping people out like that, and I just love it. I do a segment every week to try to help out the disabled and those among the most vulnerable, so it's just wonderful to also acknowledge you for your efforts. Thank you for doing it.
What brings us here tonight?
Right, yeah, the Ohana and the Wounded Warriors.
Yeah, Wounded Warriors. I mean, there's an issue that's going to be a long time in the solving of, as long as we keep sending people to fight.
And come back maimed.
And come back and emotionally maimed. That's a tricky one to work with. I just saw an article in Time magazine about the legalization of marijuana and how marijuana is therapeutically working for PTSD. But because of the politics of the past, it's very difficult to get any research done. It's just such it's still a type 1, a category 1 narcotic. That's absurd.
Well, hopefully the progress of those 4 states is going to make a big difference.
We're on our way, Okay.
And you got to get on your way. I don't want to keep you too long. I really appreciate getting some time with you, brother. It's Kenny Loggins with us here, and thank you very much.
You're welcome.